Good afternoon, everyone. It is December 19th. I think it's Tuesday. Of course, at the end of our presentation, please review our disclosures. We're going to go over a quick market recap. Okay, dollars in no man's land. That's a good thing because it's not weighing or it's not a tailwind either. I'd rather it be a tailwind right now, just where the markets are. But maybe the first of the year we get a little push, which should help continue the equities run. So let's jump to the SPY. Broke out today. Nice push, minor wave 3 up here, maybe around 479. Then we get a decent back test to about 473. Only about $6. Should get real tight up here, real tight. Okay, so if you have S&P common shares, right around 490 or 495. Once we get up to our C, we start seeing that resistance, because notice how we're confirmed. So we should get one more divergent high and then one more divergent. And that should be toppy for a while. And then we should back this. And we see whether or not we're going to grind back down to the August 21 lows, or either of these support bands hold, or we're going to go back and fill that gap way the heck down here at about 441. So we'll see. All right, looking at the NASDAQ, just really was eking out every cent it could, and rotation didn't help get there today. That's one thing I noticed in the tapes. They were rotating in and out of names, trying to hold and push, hold and push. They were trying to get that new all-time high. So it just poked its head above. Let me go out to the weekly. You should get the visual. I mean, just for a second, smidget, pennies, cents. Okay, so now whether or not we see continuation or we see a back test, because quite often when you get to that resistance, that 408.71, we're at 409.02. So we're just a little above that, not even 50 cents. But still, our target is this 449. Whether back test first, then launches, or we just have a moonshot right to that 3. Now realize wave 1 is here. Wave 3 could extend all the way up to this 61.8. Mr. Market is looking for that 61.8. So they like the 480s. All right. Looking at the Dow, just another slow grind. Now notice if I go back, slow grind, higher high, slow grind, higher high, slow grind, higher high. Okay, so we're now getting into breadth expansion. In other words, the runners ran us up, and now they're looking at other symbols to help push us. So that brings me to small caps. Now, notice the difference between small caps, the breadth of that candle. We were basically at an inside day prior to this. Let's go back to the Dow. We really weren't in an inside day. It was on the high side. NASDAQ was on the high side. SPY was inside day, but still on the higher side. So the Russells was the better mover today. Now, we also have a confirmed, or what appears to be forming a confirmed high on the daily. So now what we want to be cautious of is, because this looks to me like drive 1, maybe drive 2 on this 3. So this is where counts can become ending diagonals, and 4 do this. So that would be the most logical outcome if that manifests. So, I would look at my stop in the gap. We get into the gap. Into the gap, into the gap, into the gap. That would be my stop, because chances are we stop at the bottom of the gap, but you still can get a better price. And today, with the cost of brokers, truthfully, it's not expensive at all to flip in and out of some. All right, let's look at TLT. Kind of flat, inside day, sort of building out this flag still, flaggy look. Our 3 really hasn't changed from yesterday, 99.48. Then we back test our 4 down at 97.73. Then we come in and put in our 5 around 100. So 100 still on deck. Your next entry long is still just a tad bit lower. Forgive me, 4 is lower. You got to push it a little more to get down there. 96.93 is the low that we should get in. So that I'm marking as our next entry long, because realize this is going to be wave 3. This would be wave 4. And then if I step out in time, our wave 5 is way the heck. Not that it's going to stay way the heck up there, but right now it hasn't digested the rest of the leg. So it's still measuring the super cycle, because it now recognizes it's coming out of this. So it's saying, hey, all aboard on these lows, so buy any dip. And then I wanted to look at select financials, XLF, because we did get follow through above the breakout line today. I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. So our intermediate wave target is 39. So a smart investor, knowing that financials have recovered and knowing that the Fed is going to probably bring in QE, who benefits the most from that? All right. So outside, I like select banks. I don't necessarily like XLF, but who am I to argue with the count? Because ultimately, price is always right and I'm always wrong. So right here, March $38 to $40 calls make a lot of sense. from where we are, because even if all we do is put in this 39.97, you're in the money. You could also like make this a synthetic long. And what a synthetic long basically is, you should sell cash secured puts. So you could come in and sell some 35 puts, use that to fund your calls. Now you can either use it to fund all your calls or piece. I like pieces. I like pieces. I don't like ever to go all in with anything. So if I'm making a little money on March XLF selling the cash secured puts, I want to roll in, and I'm going to usually do between 15 and 25% of what my gain is in some kind of synthetic long, typically anyways, when we're at this breakout line. Realize my whole trading strategy is based on getting you in before we get to this breakout line so you can ride the wave. So XLF, we've had this primary wave set up since way back here at 29. We got another one at 30. Now this is an intermediate. I could say we have an intermediate wave setup because ultimately all the conditions have been met, but I haven't gone to that extent because honestly, I don't want the extra work. It's already done. It's a lot of work. Let me tell you, it's a lot of work. Okay, so at that point, so full position size on the breakout line. So I have no problem jumping on board with a full position size. So just where we are. If you want to leave a piece to scale back in, if we back test to the 23.6, I don't think it back tests. I mean, very euphoric, especially with the look in TLT where we are and financials. That's just my thought. So that's what I've got today for today, folks. Great trading until next time.